Touch. Test it. It's live. Can you hear me? Do you have a timer on me? Yeah. They can hear us. Yeah, please. Ready to have the two captured. Now I hear. Now I hear.
And welcome back to St. Joe's Media. We have live coverage today of our Falcons soccer team. Today we have St. Joe's Metuchen going up against East Brunswick Bears, and the kickoff has started. I am Isaiah Metal. Joined with me is our another broadcaster, Aiden De Silva, and we have a lot of exciting action as the game already started off strong and the ball was picked up already. Aiden, how do you think this game is gonna go?
Obviously one stronger side here. St. Joseph had a stronger side to the season, but does not diminish how good EB could be and will be. So tough opponent for St. Joe's here, and just looking to play a good game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. With Darren Rubenhorst on the ball right now, captain and CDM, booted up by Philip Kui. Chasing it is his brother Patrick, and he's fighting for the ball. Well defended, Charnecki on the ball, and it goes out of back to East Brunswick as he's holding the ball. Mena, number 17, picks it up. Xavier comes up and picks the ball out, and it's now East Brunswick ball.
Yeah, in this past season, St. Joe's went 14-2-2 with a great season, winning the GMCs and eventually losing to Pingree in uh, the non-public A semifinals. But still a great season overall, and they're looking to repeat.
Couldn't be more with you there, Eden. As now East Brunswick has the ball on the far right side. Flashstone taken by captain, won by Xavier. The ball goes right out of bounds for East Brunswick again.
Yeah, and some key opponents to look for on this East Brunswick side are senior Ben Lyons, who has 2 goals for East Brunswick and has been a key contributor for them. Another important player that is actually sidelined today due to injuries, Quentin Taha, who has 2 assists, but still EB could be a solid side here. Is another player, the goalkeeper Aiden Hanas has 13 saves this season.
For assist on the ball, played off to number 5, Joe Murnell, the leading scorer for the Falcons, with 2 goals so far this season. He's going to have a really big impact on this game. Right now, Charnecki with the skills, dribbles past, gets into the 18, finds Mena, loses the ball. Carter on it, on the edge of the box, dribbles through. Charnecki on the far end line. Puts it in with his left foot, and the ball right there, right into the keeper's hands.
Yeah, and so far some good opportunities for St. Joe's, not able to execute any quality shots on goal, but still major possession by St. Joe's here.
Ball out wide, Xavier wins it, plays it back to keeper Bobby Boyke. He plays it to his captain center back, Zachary Smith, who loses the ball right there and goes right to East Brunswick. Out there, captain. Carter Stetz wins the ball and just kicks it out of bounds. East Brunswick gets the throw in on the far left side. And Xavier with the throw in. Chonecki out the 40. He's fighting for the ball. Mena and Marinello and Stetz are all on the ball, and it just goes out of bounds from Carter Stetz there. East Brunswick gets control one more time. Xavier fights for it, and the ball is out wide. Patrick Fee running for it.
Yeah, East Brunswick here, not really able to control the ball at all and really losing within the first couple touches.
Marinello wide out to Ward. Ward with men in the box. Patrick Quee with a few dribbles, and he just gets manhandled by the defense. 3 defenders coming out there, but that was the first real change for St. Joe's.
Yeah, Zay, another quality opportunity that St. Joe's not able to finish, but some promising start here for St. Joe's. Well, they'll look for key contributors like Patrick Quee and Phil Quee to get the ball in the back of the net.
Xavier, the right back, fighting for the ball. He goes on and he plays out wide. Zachary Smith holding on to the ball. Through. Charnecki, I can't, winning the ball. Caleb Ward out on the left. Just holds on to it for Charnecki, but it goes right back to East Brunswick. And so far, none of the teams have been able to hold on to the ball as well as we thought.
Yeah, and it looked like a possible foul there on St. Joe's. St. Joe's didn't get the call, but they still get the ball here. Looking for them to capitalize on this side of the half.
Ball challenged by Stets. East Brunswick holds on to it, but just boots it out of balance. And Carter with the ball now to for throwing. Plays into the middle. Marinello on the ball. Handball claims, but nothing called. Philip Kui wins it for Tavares. In the middle, tries to find Rubenhorst, but it goes right back to East Brunswick. And Caleb Ward cleans it up. Now Zachary Smith on the ball. Back to starting goalkeeper Robert Boyke. Rubenhorst, and back to Smith.
Yeah, and just on Bobby Borky, 9 saves so far this season. After a shaky first half to his first game, the past 3 halves have been phenomenal.
I can agree there with a clean sheet. Patrick with a shot goes just far right. And that is a second opportunity for Patrick to score so far this game, but he's had a really good start.
Yeah, I like these chances he's taking. Obviously, soccer is a very long game, so opportunity to take some shots that maybe normally wouldn't take. And I like these chances because eventually one of these will find the back of the net.
Ball played out wide, challenged by Marinello. Charnicki with the ball, but he loses it. Smith cleans it up and he plays it out wide, but it goes out of bounds for East Brunswick.
Yeah, and with even St. Joseph's great start to the season, they still did lose some key seniors. Seniors like Zachary Doss, Gio Morales, Luke Communique, some great goal scorers and defenders. Um, so St. Joe's looks to still be able to fight without these players.
Yeah, those were some really key seniors who had a lot of contributions last year. But still, this team has started off undefeated, has so far beat South Brunswick 4-2 in the first GMC game, and then Passaic tagged this last weekend 2-0 with goals from Marinello and Luke Ortiz, who's on the bench right now. Ball's being challenged out wide, and it goes out of bounds.
Great defense there by Xavier just to get the ball out of bounds and allow St. Joe's to reset.
Smith fights the ball out of bounds, and it's an easy goal kick for Robert Boyke. And like you were saying, Aiden, Robert Boyke, his first season as a starter, has been playing behind Troy Boucher for the last 2 seasons. How do you feel like his impact so far this season will help them as they further go on?
Well, obviously, like you mentioned, Bobby Borky did not have the opportunity to play, but he had the opportunity to learn and grow behind a veteran goalkeeper, just like they do in the pros. So Bobby has a lot of experience on the varsity level after playing here after being on this team for the past 2 seasons, and his maturity and leadership on this team as the keeper is vital for a soccer team, and I think it can help them go places.
Ball chipped over. Zach Smith wins it. Another key defender. East Brunswick still has the ball on the edge of the 18. Tavares puts a foot in it and it goes right out of bounds at the 50 for East Brunswick.
Yeah, and again, St. Joe is not allowing any real chances for East Brunswick here, blocking any shot attempts and not letting them inside the 18. So that's great defense by Joe so far. And East Brunswick last game they actually lost to Toms River East and North Brunswick. But they did defeat Monroe, so looking to ride the momentum of that win and go to an even record here. But East Brunswick's free kick here, they'll look to get a set piece in the box, perhaps a header.
Right now on the free kick as the ball goes in. Oh, wow. What a chance there. That was a really good opportunity for East Brunswick.
Yeah, and you just see the flag on the other side of the field, offsides, but still, St. Joe's kind of falling apart defensively. They're not covering the front half of the net.
Right now on the ball is Smith, the captain, who's committed to Muhlenberg. He has had a pretty good start for the season. One clean sheet, no goals contributed. He had a lot of goals last season for a center back because his presence on the headers and the free kicks had a really big impact for the Falcons. Maybe this year he'll have just as much of an impact.
Yeah, and obviously Zach is a center back there, like as you mentioned, mainly a defensive-minded player, but still, like you mentioned, goals, and he could definitely contribute to today as he moves up the field. Um, Look to him having a solid impact on today's game.
Smith on the ball. Dean fights for it. Still East Brunswick. Right there's Captain Sean Lee who plays it out wide, but Ward cleans it up and clears it out. Kui fights for it. Stats also fights for it, and he just barely wins the ball, and he wins it for the Falcons on the 20, 30.
Yeah, some more phenomenal defense there by the St. Joe's.
Xavier runs for the ball, and he holds onto it. Wins the throw for the Falcons. And Ian, how much do you think the possession of the game will help either team get a goal so far?
Yeah, obviously you see the clear correlation right now. St. Joseph had the majority of possession and majority of the chances. Now the past 5 minutes, East Brunswick has had a decent bit of possession, allowing them to have that set piece in the box with the free kick and just right now on the ball. So obviously possession gives team more opportunity to score goals, even if all of them aren't great chances. The more they build up, the better they get.
Bobby Wookie plays it out wide. I can agree more with that one. As Philip, just been running around as a striker so far. He's been fighting for the ball. Had two great changes so far in the early 10 minutes of the game. He's been looking pretty lively so far.
Yeah, Phil's heart is obviously inside this game. Him and his brother Pat are key contributors to St. Joe's. So you look to them to have that brother connection to be able to get a goal on the side for St. Joe's.
Beautiful play there from Luke Negron. Elon Mena Angel dispossessed and Charnecki with a bit of a ball, not as through as possible, but he does win a free kick for the Falcons. That could have been a little bit of a better ball to play Charnecki through, but Rubenhorst is now on that free kick. He has had an assist so far from a free kick, a set piece. It was really well through. Plays it short to Marinello. Finds Ward. Could not find Dean though, and the ball just gets booted for East Brunswick.
You know, in that situation there, some St. Joe's players got to come help Joe and Caleb out. Joe had nowhere to go with the ball, and then after Caleb had to kick it away and get deflected by an East Brunswick player. So some of the players got to come outside the box.
This has been a pretty sloppy game on both ends. A bit of a struggle, but I think the Falcons have had a little bit more control, a little bit more possession as Charnecki wins a free kick from a shove at the edge of the 10, a foul on Sean Enda, and Dean steps up again to take this free kick.
Yeah, and to start the game here, it looks like St. Joe's is running a 5-3-2. So on the defensive side seems to be working, but maybe later in the game as they get more offensive heavy, they might bring in an extra attacker to replace one of those defenders.
Rubenhorst sitting on the ball. All but three Falcon outfielders are in the box right now. More attackers than defenders on this one. Dean steps up to it, goes short, and it is a corner for the Falcons. First corner of the game.
Yeah, with these set pieces by the Falcons, you'd like to see them capitalize on one of these shots, maybe a header by some of the forwards there, or maybe Caleb Ward.
Rubenhorst again steps up to take this corner. The best deputated for now for the Falcons. Sets it in. Good ball. Clipped in by Ward. Goes out of balance and back to East Brunswick. No, Falcons wins it. Looks like there was a deflection off there on the corner.
Yeah, I think off of Caleb's head, hit another East Brunswick defender.
Carter Stett steps up to take this throw. Throws it up. Zachary Smith puts a head to it. Ward on the back post. Sloppy clearance from East Brunswick. Zach got hit at the end, at the edge of the box, but no foul from the ref. Xavier steps up to it. Carter Stets just plays it out of bounds, but there was a lot of accusation right there for a foul. Potential penalty.
I think some of the St. Joe's coaches were also looking for a handball in the box. Quite hard to tell from up here, but there might have been some validity to that.
Tavares
Obviously, ref
plays it
did,
back to Robert.
obviously ref did not see the handball.
We bad ball and a chance, and wow, what a save there from Boyke. Hands up and everything. That was probably one of the saves of the season. He had to stretch out his full arms for that one.
Yeah, right place, right time there for Bobby Borghi. Absolutely perfect positioning there to get a hand on that. Obviously, horrible defensive crumble by St. Joe's there, but way to rebound. And hopefully they can defend his corner kick and get out of here.
Hui with the bad ball out of the box, but Boyke with the cleanup save now has to defend a corner, and he puts it in his hands. He plays it out wide. Patrick is running for it. Wins the 50-50 with Czarnecki in the box for not waiting for him. He still has the ball, still dribbles through, gets a shot off block though. He's supposed to be back on the ball.
Yeah, Pat had options there as
Sean Lee wins it again, and Boyke again cleans up. What a start he's had so far.
yeah, just like you mentioned earlier in the day, Isaiah, how big Bobby Borghi's impact can be on this game, and we're seeing it clearly as without him, St. Joe's could be down 2-0 right now.
Big save there from Bobby. As Marinello right now in the center midfield wins the ball. East Brunswick is playing really aggressive right now. And that's what's really challenging the Falcons. As Xavier just has to play it up wide. Ward at the cam position wins it and finds Mena. A lot of space. Takes a shot. Goes through the post. A bit of a questionable shot there from Mena.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of shots here from Mena and Pat before, like about a minute ago, that maybe they could have passed it, looked for a better ball, but I understand the vision by these players. Just look for them to get it going.
Falcons on the ball right now with Marinello holding on to it. He has been a killer so far this season. He's still holding on to the ball. And he wins a free kick for the Falcons in a pretty dangerous area. Joe Marinello has probably been the key offensive player so far.
Yeah, Joe, great opportunity to get this free kick. They might have somebody else take it, but either way, I would expect this ball to be a direct kick towards the net.
A few players stepping up to it. We have Ward, who's a lefty. Smith also was a lefty. Scored a free kick last season from a similar area. And Ruben Horst, who's the normal free kick taker.
As you see them discussing there who's going to take the kick and what direction they plan to go on. Seems to be, like I said, a direct kick towards the net here.
Zach, a little bit too much there. Does not threaten the East Brunswick goalkeeper Aiden Harnoff. So by the way, who has had 13 saves so far this season, but has not been threatened so far this game.
Yeah, and if we were playing football, that would have been 3 points, but fortunately, we're playing soccer, so we'll look for later on for those set pieces to be more direct at net.
Harnoff with a long goalkeeper template looks like. Plays it up wide. Mena puts a head to it. Stets barely gets to it and loses it. Ben Lyons loses that battle to Xavier, but he gets a throw in right now. And Mena just clamps it away from Luke Negron's hands.
Yeah, and beyond those one or two mistakes by the St. Joe's defense, they have been locked down this whole entire game. You look for that to continue.
Rubenhorst tries to play it up with Czarnecki. Unable to. Marinello fights for it. Czarnecki also fights for it, and then Kui tries to go for thirds, but East Brunswick still holds onto the ball. Plays it up wide. Easy pickings for Kui. Plays it straight to his brother, but he loses possession. Ball played in the box. Bobby Boyke once more gets his hands on the ball as he holds onto it. Robert plays it out wide. Mena fights for it. Czarnecki fights for it. A lot of 50-50s in this midfield so far, but Marinello ends up winning it and plays it to Caleb Ward, who just barely misses that out of bounds spot.
Yeah, you'd like to see St. Joe's here just kind of calm down, possess the ball, get some coordinated passing going so that they can have better opportunities as opposed to just kicking it up the field and hoping.
Hui and Mana fight for it. The aggression on both ends have just been really a physical appearance so far. A lot of slide tackles, a lot of fouls going the Falcons' way, of course, but this is a really coin flip of a game so far.
Some subs being made on St. Joe's side here.
From Jalen Harris, number 8, who does have an assist and a goal for St. Joe's, scored against South Brunswick in that opening game, in that 4-1 obliteration for South Brunswick. But this game seems a lot more challenging. He's a lot more physical than that South Brunswick game. St. Joe's had a lot of control, but now is looking a lot different. They're just trying to fight for every ball. Ward on the end, plays it to Marinello, who has a little bit of space, drives up, has a shot, blocked and easily put into the hands for East Brunswick.
Yeah, just a little bit on that. East Brunswick goalkeeper Aiden. Well, he is a senior this year. This is his first year starting for East Brunswick, as last year he only had 4 caps with 19 saves in those caps. He also did not play one of the games this season, but in his 2 games he has had 13 saves in his 1-1. So you look for him to continue that success for East Brunswick here, and hope St. Joe's can maybe break through that wall that is Aiden Hannes.
Yes, Hannes is obviously that star so far for East Brunswick as they get a corner. Sean Lee on it, steps up, puts it in the box, edge of the end line. Bobby hesitates, but then wins it, falls on the floor, and he wins a foul for the Falcons. He showed a lot of emotion there. He felt like he got hit.
Yeah, a little dramatic there by Bobby Borky, but can understand as he got clipped with his cleat by the East Brunswick player. But St. Joe's, regardless, wins the free kick there.
He's getting a talking to by the ref. And as you said, Aiden, this is his first season starting. Same thing with Aiden. Aiden has had more saves so far for this East Brunswick team. He's been struggling a lot recently. They only have 1 win so far. They're 1-2 currently. Last season they were a lot worse. They were 3-11-6, 11 draws and 6 losses, and they didn't win a single game in the GMCs. Lost to Monroe in round 1. What do you think they need to do this season in order to improve?
I mean, from the half of a half I've seen so far out of the East Brunswick side, you'd like to see them just control the ball more. Any chances they've had of capitalizing off of St. Joe's mistakes, not necessarily.
What a ball to Marinello. Strong touch, gets a shot off. Wow, wide open goal, but just goes a little bit right. Marinello misses probably the best chance of the game so far for both teams. Boom rush with an exceptional ball into that penalty area.
Yeah, great chance there by Joe Marinello. Obviously, a hard shot with that weak left foot of his. Well, not weak left foot, but his not strong foot side on his left foot there. But great opportunities again and again by St. Joe's. Look for them to capitalize on one of these. That's what, 4 or 5 chances there.
A few subs being made for the Falcons. Jalen Harris checked in. So did Luke Ortiz and Carlos Venegas Manuelos, who all have a goal so far. They're all on their bench. This is a really stacked bench for the Falcons this season, and they're obviously gonna have a bigger impact as the games gets more told.
Yeah, and I would say the biggest difference between this side and last year's side from St. Joe's is the depth. There's at least 4 or 5, 6, 7 players off the bench that can be key contributors to this offense. As you mentioned, Carlos, who scored an amazing goal the last game, 2 games ago that St. Joe's played.
Marinello tries to play to the running Ortiz, who just loses that battle. Connors is able to clear it out. This has been a really coin toss of a game, like I said before. It looks like any side could get a goal first. Not a lot of possession has been held, and it's just been a struggle for both teams.
Yeah, and it seems almost very tense as if one side is bound to score a goal soon. Hopefully, it could be that St. Joe's side as they currently possess the ball. But honestly, like you said, a coin toss.
Man out to Rubenhorst in the midfield, plays it back to Smith. Plays a long ball to Tavares, who's now switched to that left wing role from that right back spot where he was originally at. Right now is Lee on the ball, who tries to play through, but Mena wins it. Finds Harris in the midfield. Back to Ubenhurst. Menace Smith. Smith tries to drive up into the field. Ball goes through. Jane Harris controls it. He takes his time. He finds Zach, who takes a shot, but that is really far left, not tempting the goalie at all. And so far, most of the Falcon shots have been outside the box, but not a lot of chances inside from either side of it.
Yeah, you'd like to see St. Joe's not necessarily rush it. They still have obviously around an hour left of gameplay here, so there's no need to take some of these shots, which maybe wait a while on them, but still great opportunities. And some of these shots may start finding the back of the net. But you'd like to see them wait a while, maybe find a better opportunity.
Harness plays it out wide, tries to find Leons. Won by Negron, all the way out on the right hand side. Trying to dribble through is Sousa, but he loses that one. Bobby Bookie holds onto it and plays it up wide again. Ortiz looks for the challenge. Xavier wins it on the left hand side. He tries to drive, finds Ortiz, gets it back to the midfield. Harris on the ball. Mena back to Harris. Good possession so far from the Falcons. They've been holding on to the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, this is some good passing by St. Joe's, not feeling pressured under these situations where EB is applying a lot of pressure.
And just as we said that, Zachary Smith kicks it out of bounds for East Brunswick as they get a throw in. But the Falcons win it right back again.
Yeah, Isaiah, maybe the announcer jinx is a real thing.
Banuelos to Tavares. Tries to play it through. Ortiz challenges for it.
Yeah, and I saw that vision by Carlos there.
Leon's on the ball. He gets through Mena, but Mason Atkins, who just came on, came to clean it up. Mena loses the ball, unfortunately, and it is a free kick for East Brunswick. That is a error for Mena, which is very uncommon for him to see.
Yeah, the East Brunswick player seems to be, or maybe he's just nursing that injury right there. But you would not like to see a foul taken on St. Jose's half on that side there. But still looking for St. Joe's to play some solid defense as they have been. And some key contributors that may not be as obvious for St. Joe's is a young star like Luke Ortiz, a junior this season, and looking for him to get a good start. As Isaiah mentioned earlier, he did score a goal, so look for him to get that again today as he comes off the bench.
Did get a good goal against Passaic Tech last weekend as a drop ball is played. Mena gets onto it, plays it out wide, trying to find Harris.
Yeah, and the right decision there by the ref. There was no foul on that play. As I was scratching my head, they were just allowing, if a possible injury for East Brunswick, for him to get off the field.
Vargas loses the ball to Luke Ortiz, who's looking in a really promising area, but just unable to dribble through. He gets tackled in the box. No foul. Ref told him to get up, and the Falcons are really complaining about that call.
Yeah, curious call by the ref there. I was thinking maybe the ref was playing advantage, but the ref just said play on, no foul there. So obviously tough box inside the end of the box.
Rubenhorst drives, tries to find Marinello. No problem for Harness. Ball played out wide to Liam Kim. Challenged by Venegas Manuelos. A foul on Kim. Venegas doesn't look at the ref, just walks away.
Yeah, tough game for the refs here. A lot of controversial calls, obviously. Foul can go either way in that situation. Carlos did give a little bit of a tug, and he
And he
get a
got a,
card.
yeah, that is really questionable choice as Carlos got a card. He's now forced to come off the field. And coach Samuel Rocker for the Falcons with his hands up in his air as Patrick comes back onto the pitch, who was looking pretty lively in the beginning of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the vision for the foul there for against Carlos as he did step in front of the defender and knock him to the ground. But a card seems a little interesting, seeing as the lack of aggressiveness in that tackle.
Falcons get a throw in. Marinello unchallenged, but lets it play on. Ball paid out towards Phil, who just dribbles at the end, loses the ball, barely uses his muscle to just win that ball. The East Brunswick fans start yelling, Phil with a really dangerous ball there.
Yeah, very interesting decision by Phil there not to pass it back to Bobby or cut back left. One of the fundamental things you're taught in soccer is to never bring the ball to the center of the field on your own.
Philip Quee struggling a little bit this game, gave the ball away for one good chance. Zachary Smith with a really good tackle there.
That was a phenomenal tackle by Zachary Smith there, getting that ball out. Full stretched out with the legs. That could potentially been a goal for East Brunswick there.
Yeah, and like Sean Lee with that really good chance for East Brunswick. But back to Phil, who's been struggling so far this game. He did score a really good goal against South Brunswick, but he has been not on his ground so far this game.
Looks like a St. Joe's coach might be getting a yellow card here.
Rocca's getting a talking to. This isn't.
And showing a card. St. Joe's coach Samuel Rocca got a yellow card for his disagreements with the ref.
This isn't his first yellow, by the way. He's had a few so far in this year. As the Falcons get their free kick, and Carter Stutz and Caleb Ward both make their way back on the field for Ivan Mena and Xavier Robert Tavares.
And hopefully this card can fire up St. Joe's and show that their coach really does care about them and he wants them to win. So maybe they can have some little more pep in their step as they have been playing hard this game, but like to see them stop making a little bit some of the mistakes.
Zachary Smith holding onto the ball. Plays it out wide. Rubenhorst holds onto the ball, plays it back to Quee. He has time, but he plays it out, loses it again. Tries to fight it off with Lee, gets it back to Boyke. Phil with almost his third turnover so far in that back line.
Yeah, Phil has us all holding our breaths there, but luckily on not luckily, but thankfully on his decision that he was able to fix his own mistake and get to that ball.
Ball played out wide. Bobby Boyke tries to play it up, pressured by Yamin Nidal. Darren Rubenhorst fouls in the midfield. So does Marinello, and Ward ends up coming to the Falcons. Loses it again. It's Lee. Plays it out to Leons. Captain to captain. Gets through. Atkins just goes out of balance for East Brunswick throwing. But East Brunswick has been picking up the pace recently in this first half. They've looked like they're becoming the more dominant side so far.
Yeah, I think the main thing is effort here. St. Joe's has kind of fallen asleep as this half has winded down, and East Brunswick making a lot of key tackles here and just being aggressive on the other side of the 18, on the other side of the 50, getting aggressive with some chances.
Kim on the throw in. Nato tries to win it. Struggle of a clearance. Ward ends up clearing it. Patrick with a wonderful touch. Look at that touch and the hold up play. Heels onto the ball. He plays it out wide. Marinello running for the ball with time to play it in the box. Ortiz. Wow, that was the chance. What good build up play there from Patrick Lee. Ortiz just misses it a little bit too far in an unlucky bounce, but that's not really his fault. But that was a really good chance for St. Joe's.
Yeah, just as I was talking about the momentum shifting in East Brunswick's favor, and a beautiful chance there by St. Joe's. Amazing cross by Joe Marinello. Just a wrong touch there by Luke Ortiz, but still a great opportunity. Tough ball there by Luke. Just would definitely can build off that.
Yeah, it's really good build up play as Marinello. We saw him come off. Jane Harris is back on the pitch. He wins the ball and he tries to chip it up. Kim to the challenge. Jaden Harris, who's been really good so far in the midfield, wins the ball. Ball goes out of balance and the Falcons get a throw in. But going back to that chance, it was just the bounce really that Ortiz had that he couldn't really contribute on because it just bounced right in front of him and there's not much you could do there.
Yeah, it's hard to decide there, especially what foot to shoot with if he can get his right foot around on that ball. or if he might have to use his left foot there, and obviously the spin with Joe kicking it from the other side of the field. But
Smith with a good ball, challenged by Charnecki and Kui. Charnecki fights for it. Jaden Harris with a chance to shoot. Just goes left, drills out of bounds, but that's a good chance for the Falcons again.
yeah, Jaden just topped that ball, but I like that shot there. He definitely had an angle on the goal there. Amazing opportunities again by St. Joe's. Just let's see them capitalize on one of them and ride this momentum into the second half as time winds down.
As you could say, as momentum has swung back to the Falcons, as the game is still 0-0 so far in the first half with 6:34 left in the game. Harness kicks the ball out. Rubenhorst wins it, finds Charnecki, tries to clip it over, but just leave it straight to Kim. Atkins wins it, goes out of bounds though for East Brunswick. Kim holds onto the ball for another throw-in as two subs are going back on that sideline for the Falcons. Kim holding onto the ball.
Boom.
Plays it up wide as Atkins heads it back to Kui. Bobby calls for it and wins it, and yields onto it. He plays it into the midfield for Rubenhorst. Finds Ortiz, number 10. Ward gets the nutmeg and plays it to Charnecki, chips it right back to Ward. Almost could build up play there, but it goes out of bounds. Falcons win the throw.
And just to go back on that previous play, again, Bobby Borky has had a flawless game so far. Look for him to continue that with this strong St. Joe side.
Mena and Tavares come back in for the Falcons. As Pat with another good touch and a shot, and a save there for Hanas. One of the really few changes that he gets for a save. But that's a good shot, a really unexpected one there from Kui.
Yeah, luckily a sigh of relief there for the St. Joe side. They've had a lot of great opportunities, just none on net. So there's a shot on goal there. Hopefully they can build on that.
Ward Ortiz tries to fight for the ball, ends up winning possession. And Ortiz with an unlucky bounce as it goes out of bounds and back to East Brunswick.
Coach Rocca screaming at the referee here.
Ortiz with the battle for the ball. Plays it out wide. Carter Stetz holds on to it, and that's a high foot, but no foul there. Good shot from Stop. Just over the goal right there, but that was a really unexpected shot from his left foot.
Yeah, you feel St. Joe's is just inching towards that goal. First a shot on net, and then one just wide that definitely would have been in if it was about a couple inches, a little lower. But another great opportunity by St. Joe's here as East Brunswick begins to fall asleep defensively.
Falcons are coming back so far as it is still 0-0 with just over 4 minutes left to play in this first half. It's been a really physical and scruffy game. That's the best way I can say it. As the ball goes out wide, Carter Stetz tries to challenge for it. Clips it over, and Kui is able to get his foot on it and clear it out. Came with the ball out wide, tries to find Lee, but Phil is able to keep the ball and win a goal kick for the Falcons.
Yeah, and great job by St. Joe's there not to get. Great job by St. Joe's there not to get overwhelmed by the chance that they had just had and still play strong defensively and get another chance opportunity here.
Rubenhorst wins the ball in the midfield and he just was on the ball, tries to dribble through. Stess holds onto it. He gets tripped up. He holds onto the ball and finds Luke, who's wide open. Plays a really good through ball there to Ward. Almost goes through. But
Wow,
now East Brunswick is now on the counter attack.
what a vision there by Luke. We like to see St. Joe shut this down right now.
Lians plays it through. That is a pretty good ball right there from Lenendo, but it still goes out for the Falcons. Carter Stetz barely goes onto it. East Brunswick gets a throw. Time taken. Long ball from John Matos. Ends up going to East Brunswick. Wins in the edge of the 18, but the Falcons defense is there once more. Kui with a really good ball down the line to Charnecki, who has a lot of space, but probably plays the wrong ball there. Carlos does not stop running. Look at that track star. Ball goes out of bounds though for East Brunswick.
And as you mentioned, Carlos getting some D1 notice for his track ability, so running a key component of soccer here coming into play as he was able to win that battle and get the win the throw in.
Part of stats brought down. Falcons hold on to the ball with Paylor. And just tries to play the Charnecki, but it goes out of bounds for East Brunswick. A lot of throws so far, not a lot of possession for both teams.
Yeah, the last 2 minutes of the half, you look for anything exciting to happen here. Maybe another opportunity for St. Joe's, or worst come to it, just to let East Brunswick have any opportunities and ride some momentum into the second half.
Mena loses the ball in the midfield. Zachary Smith is there, however, to clean it up. And he just gets the imbalance for Caleb Ward. Really good defensive play there for him as he plays a long ball. Charnecki with a really good touch, but unable to get through Andrew Lima, the star senior captain for East Brunswick. As the ball goes right out. Charnecki with a chance to put in the box. Kim with a bad clearance. And another bad clearance again. Curtis ends up winning it, puts it back in the box. Von Willis was there, but he couldn't get a head onto it. Now it's Ortiz. Mena uses his body there to hold on to the ball. And he tries to dribble in, but unable to there. Kim gets the clearance. And now it's Pranav Patel on the ball. Heels onto the ball. And he finds Lyons out left. Going up against Tavares, who loses that one-on-one there. And Bloomer is able to clean it up with 39 seconds left to go in this half. Stats with a really good through ball there. Charnecki with the one-on-one opportunity. Wow, look at the cover up there from Joshua Ferreira there for East Brunswick. It was a one-on-one chance, but he was able to get to it. Now, Chess lost the ball again for Falcons, but that was a really good defensive coverage there from Ferreira against Charnecki.
Yeah, this has been a really exciting 2 minutes, second half here. And St. Joe's obviously had a lot of momentum, but EB also had a great chance.
Right now, a player is down for East Brunswick as the ball goes out of bounds. That is Andrew Lima, I believe, who's on the floor right now for East Brunswick, struggling to get up, holding that right ankle.
And it looks like there'll be a St. Joe's corner and a half. Enough the ref just calls it now.
1 second left in the half.
You look for, I believe it is Rubenhorst going to take this corner here, maybe get a set piece into the box. Good opportunity for St. Joe's to maybe get a goal going in halftime.
It looks like Lima was able to get up on his own. I was a bit confused on what the call actually is. I believe it's a corner with all the Falcons going up into the box. With the last chance in the half so far. With St. Joe's at 0, East Brunswick 0.
As Dean Rubenhorst lining up to take the shot here. Darian, sorry.
Darren with a chance to put it in for the end of the half. With every Falcon player going up.
You see some St. Joe's players creeping to the top of the 18 here. Could get a solid shot.
Everyone in the box with 4 seconds left now for the half.
A lot of confusion on the EB side as they like to make a sub here. And they get the player on. Looks like a taller player to get this ball out of the box.
It's Mateo de la Cruz, a midfielder for East Brunswick and a sophomore. This is his first appearance so far this season. As Rubenhorst holds on to the ball there.
Referee figuring things out in the box here, sorting out some players, maybe some pushing and shoving going on.
Yeah, a lot of physicality. This is known as a really big rivalry, St. Joe's versus East Brunswick in multiple sports. Soccer, one of them. A really physical game every year, it looks like. As Rubenhorst with 2 hands up, puts it in the box. Really underwhelming there, just bounces out. As that is the end of the first half so far. St. Joe's 0, East Brunswick 0, with Isaiah Meadow on the mic with Aiden Silva. And that is our first half.
We'll see you in the second half. And welcome back to the second half of St. Joe's versus East Brunswick High School here, soccer. 0-0 at the half here. St. Joe's gets ready to get the kickoff going. Question now would be East Brunswick starting the ball at the half, starting on the half with the ball. Introduce yourself. I am Aiden De Silva again, starting with the second half, along with Isaiah Metal here. Isaiah, what do you think St. Joe's can carry from that first half, and what do you think they want to leave in that first half?
I feel like a lot of the issue was playing from the back. Philip Quee had a lot of struggles so far. Bobby Borky had a little bit of a shaky pass. So did Zachary Smith had a few bad passes. I feel like once they build up from the back, the game is really in their hands. That's really what they needed to work on a lot more because that's what's been giving them away. All of East Brunswick's chances, really, a few really good chances for East Brunswick has came from gave us from St. Joe's. I feel like if they hold the ball more, it would be a much better half.
Yeah, and a tactical switch up by St. Joe's here, running three defenders as opposed to five, so you see them getting more attacking minding as East Brunswick shots the ball, but St. Joe's wins it right away. Joe Marinello on the attack. Takes a shot, deflects off an East Brunswick player. Oh, what a shot there. Not quite sure who the player was, but an amazing save by the keeper there.
Yeah, I believe that was Patrick, but that was a really good shot again. He has been the best for us so far for the Falcons. He has been aggressive. He's been creating a lot of changes for them, and taking both of the shots has been on target so far for St. Joe.
Yeah, and you're happy to see St. Joe start the half off right there with an amazing opportunity. Look for them to capitalize as they try to settle down with the ball, possessing it. East Brunswick boots it upfield. Easy play for Bobby Borky, the keeper here.
Bobby Boyke playing it up wide, which is what he's been doing so far. Being more of a sweeper keeper, most of his saves have come from just coming up and cleaning up the ball, except for that one incredible save from the Falcons.
Yeah, and a clearance there by EB as foul there against by EB, and a great opportunity for St. Joe's on the 25, getting ready to take the shot. Same players as last time setting up for the shot here. Look for them to maybe get a better opportunity here, kick it, keep it a little short. Correction, that would just be D. Darian setting up for this shot here as possibly a set piece, as a little further kick than the last one.
Usually for the longer free kicks, Dean has that more of a technical foot with his right foot to play those balls, especially into the box. He's gonna assist from it. There's some place to amend it though.
Ball in. Oh, I believe that hit off the crossbar there. Great opportunity by St. Joe's as the keeper could not get a hand on that. But as East Brunswick wins the ball back and looks to pressure now. Calm play by the St. Joe's, winning the ball back. Great opportunity inside the box now. Clearance by East Brunswick.
Yeah, and so far the Falcons, like you said, have been just a better team so far this half. They've had one good chance so far from Patrick, and they've been holding on to the ball in their half, which is what's really good for the Falcons, which is what they needed to do from the first half.
Yeah, great point there, Isaiah. St. Joe's thought they had won the corner, but actually just a goal kick here for East Brunswick. And Isaiah, which side would you say has played better all in? Kui with the ball, takes the shot, easy save by the keeper there. Corrals it nicely. St. Joe's another opportunity, just nothing too aggressive there.
Yeah, but like I said before, Patrick has had that third shot on goal, which has been the only shots on goal so far for St. Joe's.
Joe wins the ball back, gets no call. There we are. Foul by the ref there. Joe gets nudged to the ground. Look for St. Joe's to get another free kick opportunity. This one a little farther up than the other one. Maybe able to finally plays the ball out wide quick. Cross into the center. Just wide. No player able to get a foot on it.
That was a really smart play just to catch East Brunswick off guard. Play that quick free kick to Smith, but just no one in the box. Another good chance squandered from the Falcons.
Ball in the center of the field. East Brunswick clears, but St. Joe's keeps it on that side of the field. Calms it down to Zach Smith. Played into the center of the box, just over the player's head. Takes the shot. And just wide. What a save by the keeper there to push that ball out. That was a phenomenal chance there for St. Joe's to get their first goal. But East Brunswick's goalkeeper, Aiden, able to make that save.
Marnello there was just a really good shot with that right foot on the penalty spot, but again a really good save, and that is just another good point for the Falcons. They've been making their pressure too, just like East Brunswick.
Yeah, St. Joe's with the corner here, looking to build off that momentum of that amazing shot and save by the keeper. A lot of players on the back post. Ball in. Just a little too tall for all the players as it goes out for an East Brunswick throw in. Ooh, correction. St. Joe's kept that ball in and they put the ball into the box. Ball in. East Brunswick clears. St. Joe's still keeps possession though as they dribble to the sideline. I have St. Joe's. Goes out. Ball not online there by St. Joe's, but another great opportunity as for this half, St. Joe's has mainly been on the East Brunswick side of the 50.
Yeah, the Falcons have been doing really good pressuring, which is what I said was their main problem. They've just been struggling to play the ball out from the back. Now that they have that ball in that East Brunswick side, that's when they're most dangerous, obviously. That's when they have their best chance to score.
Yeah, and you look for players like number 11, Noah Charnecki, and Joe Marinello to get hot as Joe had that awesome opportunity in the beginning of this half, but continue that momentum and get a goal for St. Joe's side here as St. Joe's possesses the ball. East Brunswick wins it back. A lot of confusion as Joe plays the ball out towards the East Brunswick net. East Brunswick defender there. St. Joe's plays on, falls down. Ref saw nothing. Looks for a goal kick here. Well, correction, that is a throw in.
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's.
Yeah, and that is really aggressive play on that corner flag right there from Patrick. He just used his strength, which is what he's been doing all game. He used that hold up play, really excellent for a striker.
Caleb with the throw in. Ball deflects out wide. St. Joe's keeps it in half with the shot. Wow. Just over the bar, but that ball had a lot of zip on it there by Carter Stetz. Look for St. Joe's to keep having these awesome opportunities. Just get that ball on the back of the net, as I've repeated over and over again, as East Brunswick lines up for the goal kick.
Yeah, that was a really good chance right there. Just zips over the goal post, like you said. But that's been a lot of shots right there for the Falcons. They've had a lot of shots like that from outside the box where it just goes a little bit higher than where they want it to.
Yeah, and St. Joe's has controlled the possession of this half, not letting East Brunswick get any opportunities. As East Brunswick now dribbling along the side of the field into the Joe side. Ball played. Crowd by St. Joe's. Carter Stetz with the ball. Played to jump. Caleb Wood. Kui with the ball. Loses it. Shot. Handball. Goal. Oh, I'm sorry. Offsides. Offsides there by St. Joe's.
Yeah, and correction, that was Carter Sutts with that chance. But, again, Falcons have been pressuring the ball. They've been driving really well so far and creating a lot of problems right here for East Brunswick.
Yeah, as I said, I would say the possession has been 90-10 in St. Joe's' favor. You look for them to keep that momentum as East Brunswick plays the ball upfield. Header there by Zach. East Brunswick dribbling up. Developing an attack here on the third and 20. Ball played into the center. Bobby Boyke crowds it. No issue there for St. Joe's as a bit of worry begin to grow, but St. Joe's were able to probably take care of that chance as they begin their own attack. Ball played out deep. Just a bit too far for Joe Marinello. As Aiden, the East Brunswick keeper, was able to corral it. And he punts it. St. Joe's looking with an attacking chance here. Chips the ball up. Takes the shot. And what a defense by the East Brunswick there. Clearing a clear goal there by St. Joe's. What a phenomenal play by them to come sliding in. And just that aggressiveness that we have seen from them time and time again with these tackles, not allowing any serious chances for a goal here.
Yeah, and that was Sebastian Varga there on that tackle. He did fall down. He is still out on what looks like to be behind the goal, but that was a really great defensive attempt. Something similar happened in the first half with Joshua Ferreira. There have been a lot of really clutched up plays for East Brunswick defense.
Yeah, and another St. Joe's player down on this field there, as there are two separate, one for East Brunswick, one for St. Joe's hurt, as is Joe Marinello, who gets up and looks to be fine, just walking it off. An East Brunswick player comes off.
Yeah, and that was a really big tackle, like you said, from Sebastian Vargas. He just gets there on time, a really well timed tackle, and it's exactly what happens as Bobby Boyke, the captain, is stepping up.
There's a lot of confusion here as each team gathers up and begins to talk about what just happened and sort of the plays that have been going down, with a corner being ready to be taken by St. Joe's. Not too sure what's going on right now as all the East Brunswick players gather around their coach. But St. Joe's looks very eager and ready to get this going and keep their momentum as East Brunswick looks to perhaps slow the game down and have St. Joe's kind of lose all that momentum that they had. St. Joe's growing eager now as the goalkeeper, Bobby Borky, begins to make some comments towards that East Brunswick bench, wanting to get the matchup started again.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion right now as Vargas is still down. Looks like a pretty serious injury as Bobby Boyke, like you said, is walking back to that East Brunswick bench. Looks like he's chirping a little bit.
Yeah, Bobby, a master of mind games here, always getting in those heads. That's why he's great at saving those penalties, as he can tell where that player is going and induce fear into them as they get ready to take that shot. So a great asset for a goalkeeper to have, as you would always want your goalkeeper to be the leader of that team, feared among the other teams. As some more St. Joe's player begin to walk towards the East Brunswick sideline, wondering what's going on because it seems to be no reason for this game to be delayed.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of a break, but we will be right back with the action as we try and figure out what's going on.
as you welcome back you back as we welcome you back, excuse me, to this half here is thankfully the players able to get off the field and St. Joe's gets ready for that corner kick, long awaited corner kick that is. Hope the players are right. Seems to be doing better. So he's able to stand up and get on the cart.
Yeah, that was Sebastian Vargas, who apparently popped his shoulder. Took him a while to get off. He's still sitting there on the end of that goal. It looks pretty serious because he hasn't been able to get up on his own or anything.
Yeah, you never wish any injury upon any player and hope for the speedy recovery for him to get back to this sport. Regardless of that, we still have soccer to play as we hope for a speedy recovery for him as Santos, as I said, gets ready for this corner with 30 minutes left in the second half. I know a lot of confusion on the time. It's roughly 31 minutes left on this halftime.
Yeah, and that again, what brought that injury to Sebastian was a really good tackle. You know, he did it for the badge, to be honest with you, and that's exactly what I want to see out of a defender that heart and passion.
Exactly. I mean, you could look back to Ted Lasso last season of Roy Kent's last game of Roy Kent's career. He made a crucial tackle on defense. So some parallels there. But you'd like to see Sebastian get back on the field and play soccer. Obviously, unlike Roy, but still a crucial play there to keep EB in this game because it feels like any goal now could be the difference maker.
Yeah, that was a pretty good analogy right there, as you said in front of the live audience there, Aiden. And now the game looks like it's getting back on with Vargas getting stretchered off and now Horse on that corner.
Great to see him on the card and ready to get moving. Gruesome injury there, as you mentioned, and say it one last time. Hope for a speedy recovery out of Sebastian there. St. Joe's lines up for the corner. It would be Dean taking it once again. Darian, excuse me, taking it once again. As both teams get situated back in this heated game. Some pushing and shoving going on in the box. Referee handling that and getting ready to blow his whistle to get this party started once again.
This is the second time that the ref had to go and intervene in a set piece. This has been a really physical game. Like I said before, it was a pretty big rivalry between these two teams. And it couldn't be a really better game, even though it is still 0-0.
Yeah, as the ball comes in from Darian there and away by East Brunswick. Great play there. St. Joe's maintains possession, kicks it to the other side of the field, back to Darian. Bad touch by Darian. Unfortunate for St. Joe's. East Brunswick looks to capitalize.
Yeah, I feel like they just need to keep on that pressure, though, the Falcons. That's what they've been doing so far this half. And East Brunswick has not had a single chance so far because of it. Joe's keep pressuring that ball and keeping it on East Brunswick's side, then there is no other way for them to not be able to score.
Yeah, and the ball out for St. Joe's thrown. And as I mentioned earlier, St. Joe's has made that chain from 5 defenders to 3 defenders to become more midfield and attacking heavy team. Have you seen that play dividends so far in this half?
Yes, obviously with the 3-5-2 with Smith, Kui, and Tavares being that back three, they've had a lot more space in that midfield with five now, and that's just been helping them so much. They've been able to control the game a lot more and keep that pressure on with the two forwards, Marinello and Kui.
Yeah, I'm talking with keeper Bobby Boyke earlier this season. He emphasized wanting to play a tiki-taka style offense, which is a lot of passing back and forth. So having a lot more players in the midfield allows for that control between the defense and the attack. As St. Joe's had a great opportunity there, but just got away from them as the keeper is able to corral it.
Yeah, and with that tiki taka style you said, it's been really helping the attack as much as possible right now with Marinello and Kui. Definitely the two best attackers so far for St. Joe's. They've been using that build up play so much to their advantage and as well as the press. It's been really helpful for them the second half.
Yeah, and St. Joe's with the foul there on East Brunswick because East Brunswick gets ready for some offense, which we haven't really seen from them in this half. Isaiah, is there any concrete change that you've seen that has not allowed East Brunswick to get changed? Do you see them coming out slow or just St. Joe's coming out firing?
I feel like it's St. Joe's coming out fine more than East Coast are coming out slow. They've definitely still been having that physical appearance. You did see that with Sebastian's tackle, which did leave him out of the play. But the St. Joe's have been pressuring them so much, and they've been struggling to hold on to the ball, which has been their problem all season so far. We saw that against their game against Monroe, their loss, as St. Joe started counterattack.
Yeah, and it's a great point, Isaiah, as nothing really comes to fruition after that free kick as St. Joe's possesses the ball and begins to start their own attacking play with Xavier.
Tavares been playing really good so far in that back line, just putting up the ball. He's been playing in three different spots so far. You saw him at a striker, at a wing back spot, and a center
Oh,
back
great
spot.
ball there by Tavares, and just too far there for Luke Ortiz, but another phenomenal opportunity. Sorry to cut you off, Isaiah.
Yeah, but that's a good cutoff. As you Tavares ball, holding the ball, playing down the wing. He's been a really good key player and glue guy so far for Falcons.
Yeah, great start by him to start the half of St. Joe's. Hopes to get another attacking possession going. Just as I say that, I jinxed him once again. Header back to the keeper, Bobby Borky. Easy play for him there. Bobby boots it to the midfield right there. Good control there. Ball played out wide to Caleb Ward. To Joe. Deflected out bounds.
Yeah, and that build up play for St. Joe's has definitely been a lot better from that back line, which has been really helpful. And what has also been their big problem in the first half, they've really fixed that up, and they've been playing a lot better so far.
Yeah, I believe the ref saw a handball there by East Brunswick. So St. Joe's gets a free kick here. Looking for another set piece or perhaps just a short ball played into the box for St. Joe's here. Again, Darian Movement is taking these free kicks as he's been very accurate so far. Darian lines up the kick. Delivers it into the center of the box. Not fully cleared by East Brunswick, and now they clear the ball. But St. Joe's doing a phenomenal job, specifically Caleb Ward playing defense on the offensive side, getting that ball, and now winning the throw in here. As he throws it out wide, Zach Smith makes a run, trying to keep the ball in. And it is a goal kick for East Brunswick.
That pressure from St. Joe's has just been helping them. I keep saying it over and over again, but it's just their best component so far this game. That's been their best play, pressuring that ball, and they've been winning it back every single time East Brunswick tries to play it through.
Yeah, St. Joe's here wins the ball back. Like you said, East Brunswick just trying to maintain possession for more than 5 touches, which they have not been able to do this half. A clear difference from last half. It's great. Ooh. Foul call there on Caleb Woods. He gave a little nudge to the East Brunswick side there. East Brunswick getting a good free kick opportunity here to maybe build some momentum back that St. Joseph had this whole entire half.
And Caleb Ward did get a card there for it looks like he was mouth talking the ref there. And that is really unfortunate. That's another yellow card for St. Joe's. That's their second so far this game.
Yeah, the ref has not allowed any tomfoolery here during this game, not letting any talking back to him or any aggressive tackles. He does not want to see any injuries, as we've already had one this game, and don't want to see that happen again. East Brunswick lines up for the kick that is played into the box. Just too far. Looking for a back post shot there by the captain.
And that was a good set piece there from Lee, like you said, the captain, as the Falcons build up from the back again. Lee has just been a really good midfielder so far. He's been holding on to the ball. He's been really good at set pieces and exactly what East Brunswick needs in this struggle of a game.
Yeah, and St. Joe's wins the throw in here as they get on the offensive side. Carter with the ball, passes out wide. Oy. Take Stats with the shot there, bouncing off the uprights. Very powerful shot there. Just have to lower it a little and a little to the left. But it's a wide angle there. I understand why he's trying to go for that pinpoint accuracy to
Yeah,
the top there.
that's the second shot for stats like that. He just whizzes it through from outside the box. That's where most of St. Joe's shots been coming from. The defense haven't really been playing up so much. They've been holding back, which gives St. Joe's the opportunity to just rip shots from outside that goal line.
Yeah, and St. Joe's just a lot of opportunities here. With East Brunswick being happy with just being able to get the box out of their own side of the field, let alone possessing the ball. So East Brunswick trying to build any sort of possession here, and a clear foul there on Zach Smith, looking for a card. St. Joe's begging for a card here.
Yeah, it looks like no card is going to be given there. Really questionable play there from the ref. That was a really clear tackle on Mena. It looks like
St. Joe's, it appears, just got a yellow card. Oh no, sorry, excuse me. That was a yellow card on East Brunswick. First card of them for the day.
Yeah, finally there a card was given for East Brunswick. That looks to be Aiden Simao there who got the card. Really unfortunate there.
Yeah, as Darian gets ready for another free kick, it feels like that is the 10th free kick for St. Joe's. Look for them to capitalize on this one as he plays the ball in. Low ball to the center. Deflected out wide.
Correction, that was John Matos for East Brunswick who got the card. Mm,
St. Joe's winning the ball back once again, playing a ball through to Joe. Joe gets clear foul there. That's a clear card. And yellow card given by the ref. Player sent off once again. East Brunswick losing some of their key starters. That is their captain. As St. Joe's gets a great opportunity on around the 15-yard line for Joe's to capitalize on a great direct free kick opportunity here.
Yeah, and again, that was Andrew Lehman with the tackle. Looks like Joe was just getting through there. Could have been potentially a red, but it looks like there was enough players, enough for the referee to warrant him a yellow. But still, that was a really big tackle for East Brunswick and now a really big chance for St. Joe's.
And Isaiah, I felt like the first half we were really applauding for East Brunswick for their aggressive attacking. In the second half, it seems to not be working for them. Do you think they should stick with this style of defending, or do you think they should maybe wean off of it?
They probably should stick to this style of defense because it is still working for them. They still have, a lot of great tackles, but it's been a little bit more threatening for St. Joe's, definitely. So I feel like East Brunswick need to have a little bit more of a passive defense.
Yeah, as you see Joe Marinello and Xavier getting ready to take the shot here, not sure who's going to take it. Joe runs up to take the kick, just too high. Feels like the fourth shot that's rang off their uprights for St. Joe's. You're getting so close to these opportunities, just missing. As East Brunswick puts their captain right back on the field after receiving that yellow card. Obviously, we'll have to be a lot more careful with one more yellow card to getting East Brunswick sent down to 10 men for the match. As East Brunswick keeper plays it short. St. Joe's stepping up, playing very aggressively. Joe Marinello wins the ball back, dribbling towards the keeper, takes a shot, deflected out wide. East Brunswick, great defensive play there to win a St. Joe's corner.
Yeah, Liam comes right back there from the yellow. He's been their best center back so far. He made a lot of crucial challenges so far this game, and that's another one right there.
St. Joe's possibly getting ready to play it short. Nope, as Xavier walks back. This will be Darian Rubenhorsen for another corner here. Ball played. Didn't have enough spin on it. Went right into the side of the net as East Brunswick gets another goal kick.
Yeah, Dean's been struggling with these set pieces so far. Nothing really that dangerous so far. Maybe they might want to switch it up for another player to get a chance. Maybe like Joseph Marinello, who was one of the main set piece takers last year.
Yeah, as we enter the second half of this game, what do you think St. Joe's needs to do better at, and what do you think they've already been improved on?
They've obviously improved on that build-up play, which is what's been their main struggle in the first half. But I feel like what they need to be better on is just finishing their chances. They've had a lot of good chances on goal that have either been straight to the keeper.
Ball played out wide there, played back to Xavier. Missed pass there as as Dean is able to win the ball back. Darian, excuse me, is able to win the ball back. Xavier with the ball. Some impressive moves there by Xavier as he dribbles upfield. Another one to the center of the field. Passes it off, switches sides. Missed by both players there, and it goes out for a East Brunswick throw in.
Yeah, both Sousa and Stutz did lose that ball, but that was really good play there from Tavares, who just held on to the ball and with a little bit of flair onto it. He's been a really good player in that back line. He's been playing a lot of positions, like I said before, and he's been one of the Falcons' best players so far.
Yeah, Xavier has come off strong in this second half, as you mentioned before, maybe 6 or 7 moves that he's able to make for to make all those East Brunswick defenders miss and play that ball wide. Very good opportunity there again for St. Joe's. Feels like all we've been saying this whole entire time is we're looking for them to capitalize. So, can they do it here? As St. Joe's plays the ball short, playing with possession there. Carter Stess with the ball loses it. East Brunswick now getting aggressive. And great defense there by St. Joe's, winning the ball back right away. Feels like East Brunswick can't hold the ball at all. As St. Joe, Zach Smith plays the ball deep, misplayed there on the other side of the field. Still corrals it by Noah. And East Brunswick just clears out for a throw in. So that was a great play by Zach Smith there to Noah Trenek on the other side of the field. Obviously, great defense by East Brunswick, but St. Joe still maintains possession and keeps this pressure on. Feels like East Brunswick can't breathe. As another ball is played in. And Darian has the ball forward. East Brunswick clearing again to the sideline. Feels like I said before, East Brunswick just cannot take a breath. There's no stopping for this St. Joe side, who, as you see some members of the St. Joe's offense getting ready on the other side, with some fresh legs getting ready. East Brunswick already shorthanded. Shot there by Noah, crowd easily by the East Brunswick keeper, as East Brunswick finally gets to take a breath. This keeper with the punt does not go very far. East Brunswick trying to maintain possession. A foul against Xavier. He has some quarrels with the ref, but of course, a lot of pushing and shoving there, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, but it was a questionable call there. I don't think he really had a shove on him. His hands were definitely on the East Brunswick player. I believe that was Pranav Patel who got fouled, but another questionable call there by the ref.
Yeah, East Brunswick, their first real opportunity of the half here. They get ready to maybe send the ball into the box. The kick is off. Far side of the box, headed towards the net. Missed kick by East Brunswick over there, and St. Joe's trying to clear this ball and not let East Brunswick get any real opportunity. Xavier Welbeck Terraris with the ball, and it goes out for a St. Joe's either throw in or goal kick.
Yeah, that's a goal kick there, and that's Xavier again. Now on the defensive end, just playing as well as St. Joseph made some substitutions there by the sideline.
Yes, as I mentioned before, some fresh legs come on. So as St. Joe's has really been pouring on these past 10 minutes or so, we have to see them continue to do that with these fresh legs and give some of those other guys a break. Bobby Borky plays it short. Ball played upfield to Carter Stetz. East Brunswick wins possession back, trying to find an outlet. And some yanking and pulling there by the East Brunswick player. Clear foul against St. Joe's. Getting a little antsy here. Want any momentum going in East Brunswick favor, but it's not really.
Yeah, and with a little bit over 18 minutes left, this has been a really in between game now. Before to be start of the second half, it was definitely St. Joe's who had control, but now it's been a little bit of a more even-sided battle with East Brunswick definitely getting a lot more pressure.
And East Brunswick gets ready for the free kick here, much like a corner kick here.
Yeah,
Getting ready to cross it into this box.
that's then Deno on the free kick.
Ball played directly on net, and great save by Bobby Borky, keeping it safe, make sure that ball does not get to that top corner of the net, playing
Yeah,
it out for an East Brunswick corner.
no chances there from Robert. He just puts his hand out there again, and that's just another good save from Robert, who's had a really exceptional game so far. Not really any mistakes for him this game, which has been really good due to the fact that he did struggle in that debut against South Brunswick.
East Brunswick with the corner kick in, ball a little far. St. Joe's possesses it and clears it. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Isaiah. With Bobby Borky's most important attribute being calm and composed with that corral right there. Being aggressive when needed to be, but also knowing his place and when his time is. Being in the right spot for some of these balls to corral. That could have been great East Brunswick opportunities. Bobby Borky plays it upfield. East Brunswick wins it back. Through ball there to Pranav. Looking for an outlet, finds his teammate. Making a run down the sideline, crossing to the box. Easy play there for Bobby Borky. Time and time again, there have been no issues for that man as we get closer and closer to the final minutes of this game. As St. Joe's makes the push, Joe Marinello with the ball, loses it. St. Joe's looking for a foul, but they still maintain possession, takes the shot off the wrong part of the foot, and St. Joe's coach is pleading for a foul there, but did not get the call from the referee.
Yeah, not a lot of calls going St. Joe's way this game, as it is East Brunswick's home field, and that's just bound to happen, really. But even besides all the unforgiving calls, I feel like St. Joe's has just been the better team this game. They've had held the ball a lot more, especially in the second half, and they've had a lot more chances than East Brunswick.
Yeah, Zay, I would argue that possession has been about 80-20 St. Joe's, which you really don't see that often. It just goes to show how calm and composed they are with the ball and able to pass the ball. As you don't really see East Brunswick making effective passes like that one right there that St. Joe's takes right back. East Brunswick just seems antsy to get the ball out of their feet right when they get it. And the ball's crowd there by East Brunswick goalie. And you look for them get aggressive here. Ball played to the center of the field. St. Joe's once again with possession. Plays it back to Zachary Smith. Played across the field and kicked up in the direction of Joe Marinello. So excuse me, that is Noah. Joe waiting in the center of the box. Ball played in. Takes the shot. Deflected by East Brunswick there. Another great opportunity for St. Joe's. But East Brunswick now in the offensive as they start making a run. Outrunning the St. Joe defenders, but St. Joe's right there, like always.
Really good play right there from Philip Puig. He's had a much better second half, and he plays the ball through there to Marinello.
Joe crowding the ball on the other side of the field, looking for some help there. Ooh, Joe losing the ball. And ball deflected, I believe, by an East Brunswick player for St. Joe's corner. Joe had a nifty move there, getting to the center of the box, but just lost possession, and the ball deflected out for St. Joe's corner. But some amazing play there by Joe Marinello.
Yeah, that was some really good technical skill right there as Marinello is now on the floor, struggling to get up with now 14 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, and my correction, Isaiah, that was not a corner kick. That was a goal kick for East Brunswick. The ball went off for the St. Joe's player. Yeah, as Joe Marinello looks to get off the field and catch a breath after a very high-paced couple minutes here for this game. Coming on for him, it looks to be Carlos Fernandez Benuelos, who had a key goal about 2 games ago. She looked from the repeat, bringing this energy that St. Joe's really needs right now to just finally get over that hill and score that crucial goal.
Yeah, I feel like his pace is just his best attribute for his game, and that's exactly what the St. Joe's needs right now. They need that pace to break that line because that's what they've been trying to do so far with the attack.
Yes, East Brunswick gets the ball in, but played out. Beautiful there by Quee.
Yeah, and like I said, to interrupt you real quick, Phil has just been a lot better the second half. He gave the ball away 3 different times in the first half, but he's been a lot more solid defensively.
Yeah, and East Brunswick finally finding some possession here, but not for long as St. Joe's is able to right away get that ball back and start an offensive attack. As they move it upfield. Carlos plays it back, loses the ball there. St. Joe's throw in as they look to play it upfield. Carter with the ball. Passes it off. St. Joe's making a run here. You got a couple players waiting in the center of the box if St. Joe's can get off a cross, as it is a throw in for St. Joe's. Player very far back there looking to make a throw in into perhaps the center of the box. And St. Joe's looks for another attacking opportunity with goalkeeper Bobby Borky in the back barking orders. Ball played to St. Joe's players. Mistouch there by Luke Ortiz, but still a great opportunity again for St. Joe's.
Yeah, and that's another great opportunity there for Luke. He had a really clear cut one in the first half, but an unlucky bounce. Another unlucky bounce for him this game. And he has had a lot of good chances so far, but he's been struggling to get a goal.
As East Brunswick goalkeeper plays it to the midfield here, headed there by Darian or Caleb, excuse me. Caleb wins the ball back, plays it through, hits the back of Patrick Quee, but Patrick Quee wins the ball back, looking to get the ball into the center of the box for his teammates, dribbling through, gets it to Darian. Darian, a clear foul against Darian right there. Getting ready for another St. Joe's free kick. That might be in the teens for St. Joe's free kicks. Look for them to finally be able to capitalize on this one and get a ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, and that was Lee right there with a surprising foul. He hasn't really been a super aggressive player so far. He's been more the technical midfielder for East Brunswick, but he does get a foul there, and now it's a promising spot for Darian.
Darian puts the ball into the center of the box. Crowd by the East Brunswick people there. No team really able to get any shots on goal or anything of that nature. Kind of back and forth, but when it's all said and done, it's still a 0-0 game with as we wind down with just around 10 minutes remaining in this game. Isaiah, what do you think St. Joe's needs to do to finally get over that hump and score a goal?
Well, I feel like technically they've definitely been the better side, and it's been helping them a lot on this attack. They just need to finish their chances. They've had few really clear-cut ones in the first half and the second half. It should be about 2-3-0, but East Brunswick has been really good defensively. I feel like Falcons need to break that last line, and that's all they really need. I feel like they have everything else to get the goal.
Yeah, and a great defensive play by Caleb Ward just to let St. Joe's reset defensively and win possession back. There's a great slide there by Phil and a foul called on Phil. I don't know, Isaiah. From my side here, I thought I saw ball first, but
I saw
maybe
all ball too. It was another really questionable call there from the East Brunswick referee. I'm not really liking these refs' decisions right now.
yeah, it's a tough angle for us, but me and Isaiah both saw there Phil get his foot on the ball before the player and popping up right away. So East Brunswick, regardless, gets a good chance here. The ball in the 25, getting ready to put a ball into the box, maybe get a lucky deflection in or something of that nature, but no side really been able to score yet. St. Joe's overloading in the box, not wanting any plays to be made by East Brunswick. Ball played deep, headed over the bar by East Brunswick. One of their best opportunities of the day, but just over the bar of St. Joe's.
Yeah, and that was Dela Cruz, one of the taller players there in that midfield. A really good chance there, but not really much of a threat there for keeper Robert Boyke as some subs are coming in for the Falcons.
Yeah, again, St. Joe's just wanting to rotate those fresh legs always have with their play style. It's a lot of running back and forth, so you want to make sure that you have the best players on the field for that time and allow them to make opportunities like this as St. Joe's kicks it deep as East Brunswick wins the ball back, plays the ball wide, but Xavier Welbeck Tavares is able to jump right on that and not allow anything to happen there. That's not Xavier.
Zach Smith.
Sorry, excuse me, that was Zach Smith, unable. It's Bobby Boyke gets the goal kick here, plays it short. Possession here. Throw in made. A lot of back and forth here by East Brunswick, just shooting the ball up wide, and St. Joe's maintaining the ball on the defensive half, headed back to goalkeeper Bobby Boyke.
Yeah, and this has been a really close game so far, and with a little bit over 8 minutes left, it's been looking like a 0-0 game from the start, really. And both teams have had a lot of good chances, but yet no one has found that final line to score.
Yeah, Scaleboard plays the ball out wide to Xavier, but St. Joe's just trying to get into that box and make a shot here. Curtis Stetz with the ball, plays it back. East Brunswick wins possession right back. No teammate really able to hold the ball for a long period of time here. Bad touch there by Zach. As East Brunswick loses the ball there, maybe deflection by St. Joe's. They're able to maintain possession with Elon Mena, who plays the ball upfield. Carter Stetz with the ball. Plays it through to Xavier on the other side of the field, looking for players in the middle of the box. Plays it through. Headed by the East Brunswick players just wide of the net.
Almost an own goal there.
Yeah, interesting decision there by East Brunswick player to not hit it wide. St. Joe's goes up for the header. Zach Smith wins it. Dribbles along the side of the field. Going towards the corner. Kicks it into the center. Corralled in the shot, and what a save by Aiden, the keeper. That was a phenomenal opportunity there for St. Joe's. What a save.
Yeah, and now that is the new best chance of the half so far. The that was just a really open shot there for Pat, but he shoots it right at the goalie. He just able to have his hands out, and it is a really clutch save right there for St. Joe's.
Yeah, and Isaiah, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, Pat Quee has been a phenomenal player for St. Joe's, and another great opportunity to get that ball on net. Just an even better play by the keeper. Phenomenal on both sides there. With time winding down, only about 6 minutes remaining, St. Joe's lines up for the corner kick. And it looks like they changed players to take this corner kick, no longer Darian. And the ball played in. And ball goes out for a St. Joe's corner kick once again, except this time on the other side.
Yeah, and a lot of pressure there for these corners as Luke Ortiz looks like he's stepping up to take these corners. Back to Darian. Looks like he's coming back. He's struggled with these set pieces, like I said before, but he is coming back for these corners.
Yes, Darian looks to bounce back for this corner kick, as you mentioned. As he kicks ready, takes the kick, sends it to the center of the box, sent away by the East Brunswick players, but St. Joe still maintains possession. Trying to find a passing lane here, but East Brunswick wins the ball back as they look for a counterattack with St. Joe's. Once again, not letting East Brunswick have the ball for more than one or two touches. Great play there by Caleb Ward to crowd that. Send it upfield. There to Carter Stetz, who plays it through. Cannot win possession there. Quee playing it back to Zach, then to Xavier, who cannot control the ball. Still playing aggressively, trying to win that ball back. Goes back to the East Brunswick goalkeeper. Ooh, good bounce there for St. Joe's as Xavier Wabaktura went sliding into the keeper, trying to stop him from playing that ball out wide. Another tackle there. Both teams getting very antsy and aggressive here. Wonder if this will boil over into some sort of foul, but so far nothing yet.
Yeah, big tackle there from Lima. He's just everywhere as a center back, and he gets a really big crunch there on Chernecki as the throw-in does get called back.
And Zach talking there with Trinecki, talking about strategy. They're trying to figure out where he will be in that box to get a great opportunity here. He steps back. St. Joe's makes the sub. Stormy comes back, and Noah Trinecki sends that ball into the center. Ref blows his whistle dead. Calls for another throw in here. Not quite sure. Maybe he didn't start play back up.
It looks like the ref is waiting on something. Looks like another tussle there in the box.
Noah sends the ball in. Headed back and shot taken and wide and high there for the St. Joe's player.
Just another wide shot there. This time it was Marinello, another wide shot for the Falcons. They've never not had a lot of shots on goal that have threatened the keeper at all. It's been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, and with 3 minutes 30 seconds left here, you wonder if the game might just end 0-0 here. This draw with both sides having great opportunities but nothing. No one being able to put the ball in the back of the net. So wins back possession, sends the ball down the sideline to Carter Stetz. Carter Stetz misplays and it goes out of bounds. East Brunswick back with possession for a throw in.
Yeah, and Rocca's yelling for the team to press. He wants that team to keep that high pressure, which is what's been working so far this half. It's been giving them all their chances. That back line has been struggling to hold the ball for East Brunswick, and if the Falcons capitalize on that, I feel like that would be their biggest key to winning this game.
Yeah, it seems to be the story of the game here with St. Joe's is more passive nature. They haven't really allowed any opportunities, staying back, not letting any balls in behind them. But then again, on the offensive side, with East Brunswick being very aggressive and St. Joe's being a little more passive with their opportunities. East Brunswick taking possession momentarily from St. Joe's. But St. Joe's right now wins the throw in. Play out wide. Another throw in for St. Joe's as a lot of just standing tall for East Brunswick trying to get that ball out, give them a moment to breathe. But more players for St. Joe's press as they look at this as one of their final opportunities to get a ball in the back of the net.
And now Zachary Smith, the center back, which is an interesting call, comes in.
Ball headed up, out of bounds. It'll be an East Brunswick goal kick with 2 minutes left on the clock. Wonder if any side can make a final push here to get more than just a draw on their score sheet. As the East Brunswick keeper sends it away. It is headed there by St. Joe's. Joe maintaining possession. East Brunswick winning back possession, looking to make a push here, dribbling the center of the field, passes it off, sends the ball wide, sends the ball to center, and easy play there by Bobby Borky, who looks to get his offense going with 1:10 left on the clock. St. Joe's making a push. There they go. As that is Carter Stets on the other side of the field, dribbling along the sideline, looking to find a player in the center of the box. Falls down, ref says play on, and then awards the free kick to St. Joe's, which this might be the last play of the game, as East Brunswick coaches are very upset with that call.
Yeah, and with 50 seconds left, this is one of the last chances for St. Joe's, like you said, for them to grab a point from this game. That's exactly what they need. They have been struggling so far, and I think one shot on target, which will get the keeper to make a questionable move. That's what Falcons need right now. They need to keep threatening this goalkeeper, keep taking chances on it.
Darian sends the ball in, high and wide. Likely the end of the game now for St. Joe's versus East Brunswick as they overloaded the box.
Yeah, and like you said, that is really unfortunate there with 30 seconds left on the clock. That was the last chance for St. Joe's as Eastman was able to get a high
East
ball.
Brunswick making it look a push. Passes the ball to the sideline. Great play there by Zach Smith to end the game. Excuse me, that was not Zach Smith, that was Quee to ensure that East Brunswick not score a goal. And that will end regular time with 0-0 draw. And Isaiah, what do you think of this game?
That was a really interesting game from both squads. At the beginning of the half, it was a lot more struggling, a lot more difficult, a lot more compact from both teams to hold the ball. But as that second half started, St. Joseph been able to hold the ball a lot more, have a lot more opportunities to get more chances than East Brunswick, and that's what has helped them so far.
And Isaiah, it appears that there is going to be extra time here as both captains look to line up to maybe do a coin toss.
Yeah, it looks like the extra time is coming back for GMCs. Looks like there's gonna be no more draws, I guess. Maybe after extra time there might end to a draw. But another 10-minute half for both squads, and we will be right back as we begin this relegation overtime. time just go?
No, it's on.
And we are back to start off this overtime game. Back with St. Joe's versus East Brunswick. Now the third period has begun. With now East Brunswick holding on to the ball. I'm Isaiah Mel. Joined with me is Aiden De Silva, commentating on this game.
And Isaiah, interesting decision there by East Brunswick to start the half, just practically giving the ball there to St. Joe's. I think they were looking to apply some pressure, but went straight to the goalkeeper, Bobby Borky.
Yeah, that was a really interesting play. As we now start this game off. Now East Brunswick with the free kick to start off the half. Played up in the box, and Robert Boyke is able to get there and win the ball for the Falcons. And the ball is played up right now. Played up wide. Falcons with the throw in at East Brunswick 40-yard line.
Yeah, and St. Joe's looking to build on the momentum of last half as they were pouring it on to that East Brunswick side. It only had maybe one or two opportunities, with St. Joe's a lot more, just looking to finally get the ball in the back of the net with this 20 minutes left of soccer. St. Joe. Is that Caleb Ward down on this other side of the field?
Yeah, Caleb Ward is struggling to get up. As looks like East Brunswick will get a throw at that 40-yard line. Aiden, what do you think the Falcons need to do here in order to grab that final win?
I think they understand that they do have 18 minutes left of soccer here. Not get too antsy, not take any, not not take some of the worst shots they have taken, like maybe from far out, like the 20 or 30-yard line. You like to see them get calm, get composed, get some set pieces into the box, maybe a good shot in the center of the field around that 18-yard mark, and just get a ball in the back of the net because obviously defensively has not been an issue for them. They have not allowed any serious opportunities for East Brunswick.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more right there. As East Brunswick gets another free kick, and it goes really deep into that penalty box, but St. Joe's is able to get the ball out for the time being, and it is now a corner kick for the Bears.
Yes. East Brunswick, let's see this corner kick here. First corner kick we've seen out of them in a while.
Corner goes in deep. A bit of a struggle to clear, but St. Joe's does end up clearing it. A struggle there. Ortiz is able to get the ball up. And now Patrick Quee struggles for that ball. East Brunswick does win it. And a bit of a struggle and a lot of aggression there. That was neck on there fighting for the ball, and Ruben Horst ends up falling down on the floor on that foul from the East Brunswick player, which is Giovanni Sosa.
And a lot of funky bounces there from the ball there. A lot of confusion at where the ball was, especially with Pat Quee there when the ball was rolling on his back. But St. Joe's able to get possession here with that foul. And Zach Smith looks to take the free kick.
And now St. Joe's does get a free kick there, as we could see Zachary Smith standing on the ball. Looks like he's going to play a long one. And he does. The ball goes up. East Brunswick wins the 50-50, and St. Joe's wins the second one. With now Patrick Quee holding onto the ball. And he gets pummeled down on the ground there.
Interesting no call by the ref there, but we'll talk about that later.
Dean picks it up. Marinello fights. He's going up against Kim right now, and Kim won that. What a great tackle there for him. And St. Joe's gets a throw in on the edge of the sideline.
Yeah, I thought I saw a foul earlier in that play. Might have just had the player slip, but could have been a great opportunity for St. Joe's there. But they still do have the throw in here on the East Brunswick side of the field.
Yeah, there were some claims there, but St. Joe's does get a throw in with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in this relegation period. Throw in taken deep in the St. Joe's territory, but the ball goes out of bounds and it looks like it is a Falcons corner, a key corner here for St. Joe's.
As Noah Tranecki gets ready to take this corner as it was Darian for a long time, but looks like they're going to give the opportunity to Noah with that strong left foot of his.
Yeah, now Darren, you can see, is now back with Tavares on that 50-yard line, defending Sosa. But right now we see Charnecki with that left foot of his, whipping the ball in. Really strong corner.
Ball bouncing around in the box.
Ortiz gets a unfortunate touch there, but he holds onto the ball, tries to take it up, and finds Phil. And Phil, who does use that strength to win it, but he just loses the ball there. And Tavares is there once more to win the ball.
Yeah, these ones just sent that ball up. Bobby Boyke able to play it.
Bobby with
Calm.
long ball there, like you were about to say. Really calm and composed there from Bobby. As East Brunswick does hold on to the ball barely now with Lee on the ball. He struggles to play it, but Mena holds on to the ball for the Falcons. Really good rip there. Tries to find, I think that's Joe Marinelli, yeah, but unable to there. But he does end up getting the ball for himself. Patrick Quee with the ball out wide.
Ball sent straight up.
A lot of challenges there. Charnecki now with the ball on the left. Does get that ball to play him through. Marinello unable to win it. And the ball is just cleared out there for East Brunswick with Zachary Smith holding on to it.
And Isaiah, you hear a lot of these East Brunswick fans getting rowdy and upset with their team, and they want them to be playing better. As frankly, I'm sure a lot of them do want to get home and eat dinner.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more here. This game has been going on to what is now 8:38, a late night game for GMC soccer. Not a really common occurrence. Usually these games do start a little bit earlier, but with a late game like this, I guess the crowd adds all the more action to it.
With 3 minutes left in this half, seem to be a couple of East Brunswick players a little fatigued, with one jogging off the field now. As both sides look to get play started back now.
Now, Troneki with a throw in finds Quee. He dribbles through, tries to get past three, when his defender's unable to there. But St. Joe's pushes right back for it and ends up winning that throw in again with that incredible pressure that they've had so far.
Yeah, it feels like every time any team's got anything going, there's always three players of the other team on right there to stop any momentum.
Ball played out wide. Ortiz right now on it, able to dribble through just barely. And the ball does go out of bounds for an East Brunswick throwing. Unfortunate play there from Lee.
Yeah, he's trying to make a play there. I respect that a lot. Trying to dribble past those East Brunswick defenders, just gets a bad touch, but great opportunity there.
Yeah, and now with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game, St. Joseph have had the better start so far in this relegation. Overtime, my fault. But they still have not broken through yet, and that's what they need to do. I keep saying it, Aiden. What did the Falcons need in order to get this goal?
Honestly, Isaiah, I think it's as simple as just get the ball in the back of the net. They've had opportunities that went just over the bar. They've had opportunities where the goalkeeper saved it. Some easier, some harder, of course. So you just look for St. Joe's to finally get that sigh of relief and get the ball in the back of the net. Look for key players like Joe Marinella or Patrick Quee to do that, get that job done.
Yeah, those two strikers there, Marinello and Kui, as Marinello got brought down. Looks like really forcefully there. He still gets the ball, challenging three different East Brunswick players, and a bit of a struggle there. It is St. Joe's ball there with the throw.
Yeah, it seemed like the ref let that play on respectfully.
Ball cleared out wide for East Brunswick. Unfortunate touch there. Zachary Smith is able to clean it up for the Falcons. And this back line for St. Joe's has been really strong in the second half.
Yeah, no offense for the East Brunswick side so far, but also similarly, not too many chances for St. Joe's, or at least quality chances at that.
Ball cleared out wide into the stands for the first time this game. I could hear that one from here. And it looks like the Falcons do get a throw a really in a really dangerous position. It looks like that's Mason Atkins to take a throw, and he does have a strong arm.
Yeah, and Mason hasn't gotten too many minutes today, but when he has, you've definitely been able to notice him on the field.
Marinello there with a really good chance, but blocked by an East Brunswick defender. Mena with the ball gets cleared from East Brunswick. Charnecki is the one fighting for the possession, wins it, ended up playing back all the way to Dean Calmly. Darian, my friend. Plays the ball up, but no Falcon is there. The keeper is there and plays it right back immediately into midfield. But Philip and Mason are there to clean it up.
Yeah, and as this first half winds down, and we get ready for that last 10 minutes of soccer, we look for St. Joe's to dig deep and find that momentum.
Speaking of momentum, Falcons had the ball in East Brunswick's penalty area for a little bit, but it does get cleared. Right now, the Falcons do get it back though. On that end is Luke Ortiz. Someone's calling for a service. And Zachary Smith, who is now playing a right wing sort of position there as this relegation first half does come to an end and the second half of relegation is coming up shortly. We have GMC soccer action right now. I'm Isaiah Metal, joined is Aiden De Silva. And we are back to start this second half of overtime soccer. St. Joe's versus East Brunswick. I am here, Isaiah Mel. Joining me is Aiden De Silva as we start this second half of overtime with East Brunswick turning off the pressure. Aiden, what do you think the Falcons need? Like I said last time.
As I think right here, right now, is what they need. They need this possession to become a goal. as it appears the ball went out of bounds for an East Brunswick throw-in, but St. Joe's needs to capitalize on opportunities like this where they catch East Brunswick flat-footed and not allow East Brunswick to catch up because any opportunity St. Joe's have had, they've slowed it down too much to the point where East Brunswick has been able to catch up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more here as now the Falcons have a chance to keep this pressure up as the ball is deep in East Brunswick territory.
Yeah, and some confusion with who's taking the kick in. It appears the referee just gave a player a yellow card.
That's going to Elon Mena right there as he's walking off the pitch. I don't know what happened there, but Mena got a card and he's slowly walking off with
I,
now Carter Stats coming in.
I believe he was having some words with the ref, and the ref was not having it respectfully as he is the official for this game.
Yeah, a lot of bad mouth talking here to the ref on both ends, with which both resulted in cards for both teams. The ref has not taken anything for granted as the kick is being called back right now.
Yeah, the referee never blew the whistle there, so never officially started play back up after that yellow card.
And now to redo this goal kick with another long ball here to get out of this East Brunswick territory, which is what the Falcons have been doing good so far in relegation. They've been pressuring the ball so well. As the ball's been taken back there, Marinello's trying not to argue with the ref there, but East Brunswick does get a free kick there.
Yeah, all day these St. Joe's players and coaches have not been a fan of some of these calls by the referees, and some of them respectfully so, but trying their best not to mouth off to the ref. As a lot of these players are key contributors.
Benjamin Lyon to step into that free kick. Xavier with the first challenge. East Brunswick does win the second one. A lot of confusion there, but the ball does end up getting cleared, and a bit of a counterattack could have been started there. Mason Knight with a poor pass, but he fights his way back and tries to win it. Back to East Brunswick though. Poor touch, but the ball is still there, and Robert Boyke is there again. Calling out once more is Robert there to get another sweeper keeper type of save.
Feels like countless times today, Isaiah, all we have talked about is how Bobby Burkey is always there because he has been a crucial part for St. Joe's.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there as an East Brunswick player now is down on the pitch. It looks like a card might be given. Or no, the ref is just talking to the ref. Or no, a card is given there, and that's Carter Stats there with the yellow as Elon Manus coming back in. That's another yellow for St. Joe. I think that's number 4 so far for.
Yeah, and Coach Rocca talking to the ref there, saying that he has to be consistent because there were similar calls, similar plays made by the East Brunswick defenders that were not called fouls. So Coach Rocca very upset.
Yeah, consistency has not been key there as the free kick has been taken into the back post there. And it looks like a corner's been given there, and Lee is coming to step up to take it. He is going to really keep players up for East Brunswick technical.
Looking for the quick kick. Now backs up for ball played into the box.
Lee is now on the corner to take. He steps on that corner flag with Bobby Boyke commanding that defense. Both hands up. Lee sends it in. Calls away. Ooh, that could have been a goal right there. Zachary Smith able to get a head on it. And that is a really good clearance there from St. Joe's, but it does lead to another corner.
Yeah, there was an East Brunswick attacker lying in wait right behind Zach Smith, and he was not able to head that ball away. So great play by him for St. Joe's to be able to live to fight another day.
Here comes the crowd as they're now waking up at 8:50 at night. Now, as Lee steps up on the other side for another corner, steps up, takes it. High ball. Bobby Book is struggling to get there. And a foul has been called against East Brunswick. St. Joe's with a lucky call there. But that could have been a rebound goal right there for East Brunswick.
Yeah, and you saw Bobby Boyke get nudged by the East Brunswick player. They're causing him to not be able to fully hang on to that ball. St. Joe's looking for an attack here, sending the ball up front.
Ball played out wide. That looks like Mason Atkins was there going for a catch, but unable to get there. As now, Falcons do get a throw in though.
St. Joe's bringing out some new fresh legs for these dying minutes of the end of the game here, looking for any push that they can make to get the ball in the back of the net.
Jalen Harris, one of those key freshman, who did score, like I said, in that opening game against South Brunswick as the ball's been taken play. Smith comes in and scores. And that is game. That's the golden goal there. What a shot there from Zachary Smith. Unbelievable to the top end. Nothing the keeper could do. And the St. Joe's crowd and the entire team is going out there to celebrate with them. What a goal there.
Isaiah, that was phenomenal. Top bins for Zach Smith. And we're sorry for missing the goal there. But Zach Smith was able to get the goal in the back of the net, and St. Joe's was able to come up with the victory. I am so sorry, guys. I was unable to get the shot of the goal.
Yeah, but that was just an incredible shot there from Smith as now East Brunswick players are now just down on the field. But that is it right there. That is the game. St. Joe's does grab the win here with that goal there. Important goal there. St. Joe's won. East Brunswick 0. I'm Isaiah Meadow, joined with Aiden De Silva, and that is the game. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for Friday as the football team travels to play, I believe,